Welcome back, J2 fam. I'm your host, Jeremiah.
And I'm also Jeremiah.
Welcome back. Thank y'all for tuning in to our next episode. This episode, we have the privilege to have with us today. We got a 3-star coming from Texas who had multiple D1 offers out of high school, including Army, Lamar, and many more. But he ended up committing to Tulsa, and he's seen action in the Oklahoma game. And in 2024, he went into the portal and transferred to UCO, where he was named the MIAA Freshman of the Year, and he was also third team All MIAA, and he's also an internet sensation with over 300K followers on all social media platforms, and receiver for UCO Broncos. Welcome, Ashton Schumann, man. Welcome to the pod.
Man, thank y'all for having me. First of all, the introduction was electric, so I appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So the usual first question we ask: what is Ashton Schumann like off the field?
What am I like off the field? I would like to say I'm a humble individual, Christ-centered, man, and then I'm a content creator, sort of. I wouldn't
No,
say
I'm not
I'm
gonna lie. I be seeing your TikToks. I be
yeah,
seeing them.
I'm trying. My TikTok recently hasn't been popping, so I've been switching it to IG Reels. But yeah, I'm a family man at heart. I love my family. Love to hang out with them every chance I get when I go back home. But it's hard, because I'm in Oklahoma. Family's in Houston, so yeah,
Yeah,
man.
How the
for sure.
influencer world been going?
What'd you say? Sorry, here, let me turn you up.
I said, how the influencer world been going?
It's been solid. It's kind of off and on. It's like a lot like this. I mean, I'm sure y'all know it's
Yeah,
so hard to gain traction, and then you got to keep it once you get it. So
yeah.
I
You gotta
mean,
keep going. Like
dude, it's a challenge. It's hard. It's hard.
every
Definitely.
time I talk to people, like the biggest thing they always say is just consistency.
Literally,
Yeah.
you just got to be consistent, and then once you get a topic and once it starts booming, you just got to keep going.
Facts. No, I be seeing your 2K ones. Those are the ones that be popping
That's
up
the
on
one
my
that
feed.
started it all back in 2020. It was my first ever video. It did all right, and then I posted it a second time the next day, and it blew up. And ever since then, it's kind of been the topic.
Yeah,
What made
yeah.
you,
That
what made
I
you
remember
into
I
it?
saw the brown shirt one where he's like hopping on and then the red guy hops off. Yeah, that one had me dead. But you talked about you being big as a family man. What's your immediate family and like what was like growing up for you guys?
Growing up, my family was always together. We always hung out. It was me, my brother, and my twin sister. I have a twin sister, and then my brother's a year younger than me. So we were always close. I feel like growing up, me and my sister would always fight, and then me and my brother were always close. But as we kind of got older, I mean, we always just grew together. We all kind of grew together. So me and my sister are super tight. I wouldn't even really call her my sister. Like, that's like my best friend. And my mom always said it's my built-in best friend. So yeah, and parents were always together. We'd always hang out as a big family, and it was just always a good time.
hmm
That's
And I
good.
saw you from Houston. My dad. I was reading your bio. It said your favorite team, the Houston Texans and the Houston Astros. My dad's actually from Houston, so I want to pull this out. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
that
Big
was
Houston fan.
growing
Hey,
up watching him was electric. Like,
facts, bro. He was a
he,
dog. Him and Arian Foster. You know what
dude,
I'm saying? They're
yes.
Hey,
teaming up. Yeah,
hey,
yeah,
I don't think he beat the Cowboys too many times though.
yeah. Hey, what did we do to him this year? Let me think. Yeah, we gotta talk
Yeah.
about that. We gotta talk about that though. But yeah, you got a favorite Houston Texans player?
Right now it's probably CJ Stroud. It's got to be.
Yeah,
I got his jersey over there in my closet, but that's got to be. He's my favorite
real
right
tough.
now.
Yeah, yeah. Right now for me it's Derek Stingley.
Yeah, he's a dog. I
Yeah,
mean, I like all of them. I like Nico, Stroud,
yeah. Everybody. We
all of
just got
them.
Nick Chubb. We lit for real. But
Joe
this is
Mixon,
not an
everybody.
NFL podcast, so we're gonna get back to the topics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But out of high school, everyone obviously wants to go D1. You actually had the opportunity. Could you talk about like your recruitment, all that, and how you ended up at TU?
Absolutely. So it's actually a crazy story that I haven't really talked about a whole bunch, but I'll go ahead and give y'all the full story. So I didn't have offers really my sophomore year. I was on varsity. I had 166 yards maybe and 6 catches, a few touchdowns. So it was solid, and I feel like kind of social media or whatever, they kind of just say like junior year has got to be your big year. It's got to be the year. For me, it really wasn't. I was behind a 4-star A&M commit. You know, he just transferred to Georgia. Noah Thomas, he's a dog. But I was behind him, so I had like 560 yards. You know, some I don't know, 8 touchdowns maybe. And then that summer, you know, I just kept working, kept my head down, and then I started. I got a phone call for Army. They offered me. I started meeting with a lot of coaches coming through our high school, and then I ended up getting Lamar, ended up getting Air Force, and then those were kind of the main 3 for a while. And Lamar told me, they were like, we're gonna keep 3 people, or we're gonna take 3 receivers. So originally, I tried to commit there once I started seeing people commit, and
Yeah, you're like, I'm trying to
then
be one of those 3.
yeah, I'm trying to be one of the 3. And then they ended up not allowing me to because they already had their 3. So at this point, it was between Army and Air Force. And my kind of vision, I wanted to go to the NFL. And you know, Army and Air Force, they don't really throw it a whole bunch. Air Force does, yes, but
Definitely not
Army
Army,
doesn't.
though.
Yeah, definitely not Army. And then ended up throughout the process, I knew I had a Tulsa. So after I tried to commit, the only Tulsa camp I could have went to was like July 28th or 29th, the end of the summer, pretty much right before the season. And they told me before I went there, you know, I went on a visit in the past. They were thinking about moving me to tight end or like a wing back. So I was nervous when, you know, Lamar wouldn't let me commit, and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to go military. So I was my head was kind of set. Okay, I'm gonna go military, and I ended up going to that Tulsa camp. They offered me. They told me like, we're taking one more kid. I said, I've seen what I need to see. I committed on spot after that camp, and then, you know, ever since then it was kind of just Tulsa, and then the staff ended up leaving before I ended up getting up there. So that's really what led to me transferring.
Dang,
I got you.
was you a part of the year in high school where like the portal, like where it was like originated?
What? I no. Maybe.
Or was it the second year?
I think it was my. No, it might have been. I don't remember. You think I'd remember that? I don't remember.
It was pretty. It was still pretty fresh though, right?
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. It
Yeah,
was probably a few years after.
speak
2
on
years,
it,
I think.
like of having them like battle like getting on the college roster with these other portal guys who's like 22 and 23 and some of them like
Yeah.
26. It's crazy.
Not having game film was the hardest part of the portal. Like,
Yeah, that's what, right?
I had no game film. I had nothing. Like, they're going off practice tape, and a lot of it. The whole reason ended up getting the offer at UCO was because actually one of the coaches, Coach Donald, which he's at K State right now, I believe, but he was an alum from my high school. So I would always
Oh,
see him coming in and coming out of our high school, and I would always talk to him. But at the time, I was committed to Tulsa.
Don't know if that's my
So
guy.
yeah, Coach
That's,
Donald.
that's actually like Coach Slaughter's best friend, the dude we had on the coach.
oh, really? That's tough.
Yeah, it's actually his best friend.
But yeah, Coach Donald, dude, he helped me get in touch with the coaches, and then the coaches ended up offering me. But yeah, not having game film was the hardest part. Like, they asked, "Hey, where's your game film? Where's your film? Where's your tape?" And it's like, dude, I haven't played. Like, it said action OU. I mean, I saw 3 snaps at the end of the fourth quarter. I'm run blocking. Like, I did nothing. I did a whole lot of nothing.
That's funny. Um, I know we're talking about college, but transferring back to your high school career, I saw that you were a 3-year letter winner. I'm not from Texas, so I'm not like too familiar with what that means. So I'm sure some of our viewers aren't either. But could you explain what that means and like what the process of that is?
Yeah, it's pretty much just a 3-year letterman is just like you're on varsity. So you kind of just had a key role on varsity, and you know, made some plays, and just yeah, you just played varsity. It's pretty much it.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
I was telling him
Um,
before. I was telling him before the interview too. I was like, "That's pretty huge in Texas, like, because in Texas, that's the biggest football state. Like everybody knows, and just like being able to be on varsity 3 years is something that not everybody is able to do. So this huge.
facts.
Definitely.
Um, But yeah, you came out of high school as a 3-star, like we said, 3-time All 6A district selection. What was high school like for you? I know that was some of my greatest memories, not even just on the field, but off the field. You know, the camaraderie. What was that like for you in your experience in high school?
It was definitely high school was fun, but I put a lot more pressure on myself than I should have because I was just so like focused. Like I gotta go D1. I have to do this. I have to do that. So my mindset was kind of like football, football, football. And of course, I hung out with my friends. Had a good time, but a lot of it for me was football.
That's fair though. I mean, you gotta have that mindset, especially if you're trying to get to the places that you're trying to get to.
Definitely.
You, do you feel like that was hindering you from like actually being able to like do all that you can in high school? Because I feel like I was like that too. Like my junior senior year, where I was too much worried about recruitment, and so like it's just clouded.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like I feel like it just applied a whole bunch of pressure I didn't need. Like I feel like I could have played more free and looser
Yeah,
Yeah, I
and
feel
just
that.
not worrying about everything.
yeah, facts.
So obviously you redshirted at TU, your first year. What was that experience like? Did you feel like you were able to make the most of that opportunity?
I definitely I was big back. I feel like I was huge back then. Like I was bulky, I was Aki, but no, definitely. I made the most of every opportunity. Ryan Switzer was my coach. He was in the NFL.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
hard.
That's
I
tough.
learned when I got in there, it was I'm gonna learn. I graduated early from high school,
Hmm.
my senior
Oh,
year.
okay.
So when I enrolled, I'm like, I'm gonna take advantage of this extra time I get. I'm gonna learn the offense, learn the playbook. It's a new staff. I'm gonna try to set myself apart from everyone else because I've never was the biggest guy. I'm not the fastest. I'm not the strongest. But I'm gonna learn that playbook. I'm gonna give myself every opportunity to get the chance to see the field. That was kind of where my head was at. I was a 3 kind of all year. I traveled, so I got to see everything and just I try to make the most of the experience. Trying to learn what it's like at the big school, a bigger school, trying to just lock in, learn the playbook, and work out, and just see kind of how things are run.
Right.
Facts.
You said you weren't the fastest, but man, you pretty fast. I seen in high school when you was running track, you ran like a 21 or 22 in the 200. I was like, okay, he was rolling.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. It wasn't always like that. It took me a minute. I had to learn, proper form and all that. So it definitely came after a lot of hard work. It was definitely not inherited, I will say.
Would you recommend track for anyone, like any other college,
Absolutely.
college athletes?
Run track. If you are looking to go to college for football, run track, learn the proper form, get faster. It literally can't hurt you. Well, I mean, it
Literally, it can't
could
hurt you at
hurt.
all.
It could. I
Unless
mean,
you
it
like pull something,
could.
obviously.
Yeah, 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 definitely. But yeah, it
But
can
yeah,
only
it's like
benefit your play.
facts. I be trying to preach to people that like track in high school for a football player is like that's how you get to the next level for real, or get your body right for real.
Definitely, definitely.
Also, since we might have recruits watching this, uh, speak on just how important Twitter is now these days in the recruitment aspect, and how
You
important it is to like be active on Twitter.
definitely. So I get a lot of DMs like, "Hey, what should I do? Tips? How do I get recruited? How do I go on visits? This, that, and the other." Twitter is the. I mean, you have to have Twitter to get recruited. I think every coach probably is on Twitter. So set up a Twitter and use it as a business. Use it for business. Don't go liking all these random tweets because back in the day it used to show all the likes. It used to show all the
Yeah,
likes. Now you can get away with it.
I used to see some dudes liking some wild stuff, man.
Man, so you gotta watch what you like, watch what you retweet. Post stuff is like it's like a job application. So just post some clips, post your highlight tape, get on varsity as fast as possible, and then start posting those. Don't post the freshman clips, which actually I did back then. So I mean, I can't. I'm being hypocritical here, but I'd say get on varsity as fast as possible and get the tape.
Mhm. You talked about people reaching out, asking you for advice, and Jeremiah talked about how you're in the influencer world. Has that been a thing for you? Like, people often reach out, ask advice for different things. What's that been like?
It's a very humbling experience, and I'll say it's a lot of why I post on social media. And it started with the 2K stuff, but once I stopped doing that, I really started just posting my football story and my football journey, trying to like inspire other kids that, hey, it's possible, dude. I'm a random white receiver, that just worked hard and put in all this extra effort. Like, you can do it too. It's possible. And so every time I get a DM, I try not to be Hollywood or whatever, and I just answer everybody. Try to answer all my comments, my DMs, and I try to help as many people as possible, just because I know what it was like to be in their shoes, to have no help, and kind of be just like stuck, not knowing what to do. So I try to just respond to everybody, help them. And I've had people come up to me after games saying like, "Hey, I've seen your TikToks, I've seen this, I've seen that." And it's a humbling experience.
For sure, man. That's good to hear. That's real stuff.
Fact. Yeah, speak on just how you was able to become ranked as a 3-star in Texas, because some kids might be watching this and be like, man, how do I like try to get there, or like get seen to try and get ranked, and just speak on that.
All right, yeah, there's definitely a few ways to get ranked for me that I've kind of seen and I've kind of done. You can go to camps really early on, and if you show a lot of like raw talent and speed, you could get some stars or whatever. But a lot of the time it comes after you pick up a lot of offers or after you commit somewhere. So I didn't end up getting stars until I committed to Tulsa, and they kind of just started like watching me. Yeah, so it's more based on kind of it's really political, honestly, and that's why I say stars don't matter. Stars,
especially in Texas, man.
Dude,
yeah,
it's very political. Like,
yeah. So stars don't matter. I wouldn't worry about ranks, stars, anything. Focus on yourself, focus on your improvement, and just become the best version of yourself. Like, I know it sounds cliche, but actually become the best version of yourself possible, and then the rest will come if it's supposed to.
Facts. That's good stuff to hear.
I got a question for you, because a lot of people be doing this. Did you hire any recruiting consultant or company?
All right, that's a good question. That's a great topic, because I haven't spoke on that too much, but I did once, and I was like, because it sounded so good. It was my freshman year. It sounds good. They give you they roll out the red carpet. Hey, all these coaches are going to look at your profile. These coaches are going to talk to you. These coaches are going to offer you. No, don't sign up for it. Don't waste your money. Save your money. It is not worth it, dude. You can do it yourself on Twitter. Social media is so big now. You'll be all right. You'll be all right.
Did you also have them guys like in your hometown, where like back in Texas, like you got a whole bunch of coaches like looking to get promoted off of a kid? So like he'll make it seem like he built you up just to get promoted. Did you have any of those coaches?
There was not really as much like coaches. I've had a lot of good high school coaches, but there was some trainers that would almost like post all their good kids, the kids with the offers and stuff. Yet I was in the background working, trying to become the best version of myself. They weren't really worried about me.
Right.
But then I also had a lot of great trainers who were really just worried about my development and worried about how good I can become.
And I asked it, there's a lot of dudes in Texas like that, like especially like coaches, like I ain't gonna say no names, but like I know some out there where they just benefiting off of a kid, like dude, like it's a dude in college, coaching in college right now, just because like he made it seem like all these kids he developed and stuff like that. So it's definitely make sure y'all stay woke.
Facts, and make sure y'all lock in with the right trainers for sure.
Facts. Find the right trainer and find guys who are really invested in you and want you to become like the best version of yourself.
Facts, because not everyone has your best interests in mind. For sure.
Definitely.
Switching back to TU to UCO. I was wondering, so obviously you went D1 and now you're D2. Was it a hard decision moving down a level? What was that like for you mentally? And obviously you said that the staff left and stuff, but what was that like for you mentally going down a level? And what led to that decision?
Yep. So for me, originally when I entered the portal and I was just kind of talking to a lot of D1 schools, they were kind of like, we don't have offers in the spring. You have no game tape. We're not going to recruit you off high school. Mm-hmm. And then I started enrolling in junior colleges, not to play football, just to go to school. Like I was
Word.
about to hang it up. I was about to hang it up and not play ever again. And San Angelo called me, and they said like, "Hey, we'll offer you." And so then I started talking to my parents about it, and I was kind of like, you think I should quit on football? Because at the time I hated football. I didn't like football. I lost the love of the game. Like Tulsa kind of took everything from me, and I was really just done with football. My dad and mom were like, "You don't want to regret anything, so you
Yeah.
might as well give it one more shot." And I was like, you know what? All right, I'll give it one more shot. I'll play football. So then I started, reaching out to other schools, reaching out to people. Then I got in touch with UCO, and then I started taking visits. I had three. It was San Angelo was my first one. Then I went to SWASU, and then I went to UCO.
Mhm.
And then the whole reason I transferred was, like I said earlier, the Tulsa staff left before I got up there. The new staff, they weren't really fans of me, to say the least. And then so I ended up leaving and committing to UCO.
Where, could you talk about the importance of having good advice and good people in your corner, like you said, your mom and dad that helped you to make the right decision, and how important that was to have those people.
Yes, it was. I mean, it was huge for me. My dad, I've always talked to about football since freshman year. I mean, I still literally will send him reels to this day of football stuff.
Same.
Like, literally to this day, I mean, he's all I talk to about football, and we're all football, football, football. We've grown up. I mean, we've grown a big relationship outside of football.
Mhm.
But man, then my mom, she's who I go to about like if I'm overthinking or if I'm, having some life problems, I'll go and talk to my mom. But if you don't have people in your corner, it's very hard to do by yourself, especially football because it's such a mental battle. And that's why I started getting big in faith. I've always, was always going to church when I got older. And then recently, Tulsa, things started going downhill, and I was like, okay, I need to find the Lord. Like, I need to deep dive into this and take it serious. So now it's a big part of my life.
Right.
Oh
So
man, that's huge. That's good that you were able to find that, to find your faith, and that able to push you through. I also wanted to talk to, if you don't mind talking about this, because obviously it's different for like every player. Um, but what were some of the things that made you start to lose the loss for the game? Was it just because you were redshirting, not seeing the field, or you know what I mean, like things like that?
Yeah, it was just I I wasn't seeing the field and I was just practicing, and that's the hardest thing
It's hard. It's hard.
to do. And then I was being told, like, I was told I wouldn't, like, I probably wouldn't have recruited you here, I probably wouldn't have offered you here. And so just hearing words like that from a coach was very, very, very hard. And knowing what I know now, I should have handled things differently. That should have been like a wake up call, like, hey, let's work, let's move, let's go. Like, you got to develop, you got to pick it up. And he always told me, hey, you're a developmental guy, like, you got to develop. And it was tough. It was very, very, very hard for me to like football and go out there every day. I was also battling through a lot of injuries. I kept straining my Achilles constantly. I played spring with a broke finger. That's a
Man, that receiver,
Yes.
that's a battle.
So this is actually a really good story. I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all a story. I haven't
Bet, bet.
said this story
we
much.
here, nigga.
It's my first spring at Tulsa. I ended up breaking my finger. I had a hairline fracture, like probably right here. Kept playing. The trainer said I could keep playing, so I was taping it like this every day outside of my glove. So my fingers were taped like this, and I was trying to catch like just like this in any way possible. And I don't know if it ended up breaking worse or if it broke a second time, but it was all sorts of messed up and sideways. And so I ended up needing surgery after the season. So I got surgery. You can't really
After
see
the
it.
spring season.
After the spring, my
Okay.
first spring in college. So they took a bone from here and put it in my finger. So now my finger doesn't bend properly.
Nah, that's crazy.
Dang.
That's crazy. That was
Yeah,
that was and that was coming early out of high school, right?
Yep, I was 17 years old,
Man,
being
yeah.
told I wouldn't recruit you here, playing through injuries. There was just a lot going on.
So
Oh yeah,
speak
that's rough.
speak on how you was able to like overcome that and your mentality doing that because JB can kind of relate too because he also dealt with some injuries and stuff, keeping him off the field.
For sure.
It was tough. So for me, I was just trying to play through the injuries, so it'd be a lot of taping. But it's hard trying to go back and forth because I would take some days off and then I'd start hurting, and then it was just challenging. But really overcoming mentally when I transferred, it was, hey, I want to enjoy football. I want to love this game again. And
Yeah.
then as I got here, I found the love of the game again. Every time I go into meetings, Coach Curley's asking me, or anytime he sees me, he's, hey, do you love football? Hey, do you love it still? Hey, how's it going? And I would say there's a big difference from D1 and D2. D1 is so businessy. I mean, because it like has to be. But
Right.
D2, it's still business. Like, we still want to win. We still want to do this. But I feel like there's just a lot more relationship building
A
and
lot more
more.
love in D2.
It's amazing. I love it here. It's a great place to be. But so when I came here, it was, hey, I just want to love football. So I started loving football, and then I started seeing some success. So after the season, it was like, hey, let's ramp this up. Let's take this up a notch. Like, let's lock in, and let's really just work hard for like every dream I want and see if it's possible. Because I mean, at the odds of making it far are low anyway. So I mean, I might as well give myself every opportunity and every shot to see if it's possible.
Okay.
Nah, that's well said, bro. For real.
That's a good mentality. So was it a hard adjustment like going from like D1 to D2? Like speak on like the different type of resources you had at D1 from D2, and yeah, just speak on like the different experiences and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I know UCO still got some great facilities for D2. So
That's what I was about to say. The facilities are very, very, very comparable. The field's nice. The stadium literally is probably comparable to Tulsa's, besides the waterfall side. That side would just
oh
be
yeah, yeah,
bleachers
yeah.
at Tulsa. But we have a big football athletic building here, like we did at Tulsa. The facilities are nice. It's amazing. And then I would say the only real difference, and you can kind of see it, is the money, like behind it. D1s get more money, so you get a lot more. You just have protein shakes nonstop. But I would say, like at D2, I mean, we're working with what we got and we make it happen. Like, I mean,
And there's almost beauty in that, huh?
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just everyone has a common goal and we all want the same thing, so we're not gonna limit ourselves in that way. But yeah, it's definitely, you can definitely see the difference. But for me, it was like, I just want to play football. I want to see the field. I want to love the game. So I mean, I'm gonna go into it hungry, and I just want to become the greatest version of myself. Like I've been saying all podcast, I want to give myself every opportunity possible.
Yeah. I really keep like that you're mentioning, like, not that you want to be the best, but you want to be the best version of yourself.
You
Because
have,
like,
yeah, I feel
yeah,
like
yeah.
you have to, and that's just kind of how my brain works. Like, I've always been a hard worker, so like I just have to. I'm so hard on myself, and any young athlete watching this, I would say give yourself a little credit. Like, go back, deep dive, and appreciate the things you've done. But I
Celebrate.
don't dwell on it.
And
Like,
celebrate the wins.
we have a saying up here. It's rat poison. So like every time someone asks about last season, hey, you had a good season, this, that, and the other, I say that's rat poison. We got to move on forward. That'll slowly kill you. We got things to build for. We got to become better. We got to get better. We got to move forward.
Word.
Likes that.
You're a big job not finished type of guy.
Yes,
Yeah, that's
definitely.
what's up. So yeah, you talked about how you got to UCO. So you're able to do your redshirt freshman season. And obviously you had a lot of success. Could you just speak on the experience of your first year playing at UCO
It
and what
was
that was like?
amazing. Yeah, so going into it, I was a backup the first game. And I was like, cool, that's not going to change the way I work. I'm still going to work. I'm hungry. If I get in the game, I get in the game. I'm going to make most of every opportunity. The first game, I didn't have too much action. I had my first 2 college catches. and then my whole family was there.
which
I
is
mean,
still a win in and of itself.
it is. It's my first college. My first college catch. I'm not gonna complain. It's the first time I've got actual in-game snaps that mattered. So, whole family goes in. My mom's there, my dad's there, grandma's there, aunts,
Oh man,
uncles,
yeah.
whole family's there. And I barely play. And I texted my dad. I said, "Dad, dude, I don't like. Oh no, I'm getting PTSD. Like I'm not gonna play. This, that, and the other." Second game comes around. No family's going to this game. We're playing the number 2 team in the country. Parents weren't planning to come. I'm still a backup. Throughout the week, the starter kind of shaky. Hamstring starts hurting. He goes down. He says they told me Friday that you're gonna start. So I text my
Friday
parents.
game Saturday.
Yes,
Man,
Friday game
boy.
Saturday. But I was kind of mixing in the ones and the twos all week, so I was kind of prepared. But I text my parents. I'm like, I'm playing Saturday. They gave me the start. We're playing the number 2 team in the country at the time, and they're like, well, we can't make it. This, that, and the other. And I'm like, cool. First start, no one's there. Don't expect much. It's kind of see. I go in the game, a little nervous because that's my first start in college. Ended up having the first touchdown that game. Went for 100 yards. And my parents, I looked at the group chat after, they're sending all the videos and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, so maybe y'all just don't come back to any more games, and we'll be all right. But yeah, that game was fun. It was a very, very fun game for me.
Right.
That's
And
what's
I wanna go back and highlight just how you was told like on Friday that you would start. And I want for like every like recruit or like freshman going into college this year to really know what that means. Like just being able to like take them mental reps and things like that just in case, because you never know when you call them. Because like it's many times where like I was in the game and like, oh man, go 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 go, and like if you're not ready, then like them opportunities that you just
You
like,
gotta stay
gave
ready.
away.
You
So
you
like,
have to be prepared, and that's why like at Tulsa I never knew what was coming, so I kind of installed it in my brain like I just got to be ready. Who knows what happens? Who knows what can happen? People injuries happen, things happen. You just got to be ready to go.
fact.
Facts. That's so important because like everyone has goals and stuff, and then like when their goals don't happen right away, people can get deterred. But it's like it's always at hand. Really, it's really always at hand, and it's like you never know when that opportunity is gonna present itself. Literally, yours is the day before a game, but you
Literally.
just have to keep yourself ready, and you have to always be ready to receive your blessings. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Exactly.
big that you were
Exactly.
able to keep yourself mentally prepared so that when that time happened, obviously, 100-yard game, first touchdown, you saw the work.
Definitely. And
Yeah, keep going.
things are always going to work out the way they're supposed to, and it'll take. And when you're going through it, you won't know, and it'll be like, dude, why is this happening to me? This sucks. This is horrible. But you'll always end up getting more blessings than what you may have gotten on your plan, your timing.
For sure. So you guys won the MIAA conference. You guys were the 2024 MIAA champions. How was that? What was that game like? Preparing for that game, and then did y'all celebrate after? What was just that whole process like?
Yeah, so I think before we knew we were going into the Emporia State game, and it was kind of like, okay, we just got to win this game. And then if Pitt State loses, we ended up winning by ourselves. But if we both won, I think we split it. I think, don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's how it ended up working. They ended up losing, and our mind was just kind of focused, like, hey, we just got to win this game. We got to win this game. After we won the game, I think theirs ended before ours, so we were like, we knew we were MIAA champions, and once again, no family was at that game. I was celebrating by myself. I actually think I sprained my ankle. I was playing on a sprained ankle that game. But yeah, that's just an interesting story. So my parents didn't know. My parents didn't know if I was going to play, so my family didn't end up coming. But yeah, man, that was a fun game. It was a fun celebration, and just to be a part of something like my first season with actual stats, actual snaps, actual impact on a game, we ended up having great team success, and that was an awesome experience for me.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
Tell,
Um,
tell him once that blood get flowing, you're not injured no more.
facts.
No more.
Yeah, no,
um,
definitely.
so obviously, we talked about how you won MIAA Freshman of the Year. I'd like to talk about that, or like when you heard that you had won it. What was that like? Maybe who the first person you called was, but also, were you able to take a moment of reflection? Like, these dudes said they wouldn't recruit me, I wasn't gonna play, and now I'm in my AA freshman of the year. What was that like?
Get back.
Realization like?
Yeah, I have a few stories about this one here, but it started. I don't know why. I don't remember. It was kind of the back half of the season, and I just started looking at like all the stats and everything. Don't know why. It was random out of nowhere, and then I started just comparing it and everything, and I was like, huh. I wonder if like I could even get that, or if I would have a shot at something like that. Next day, like literally very next day, I'm in there. I'm in what biology, taking a test, and I just hear like I feel because my phone's in my pocket, so I feel it buzzing, and I'm like, dude, is everything okay? It's just nonstop buzzing, and I'm like,
Nah, it's
dude,
crazy when you get them random buzzes. You don't know what's going
dude,
on.
I'm like freaking out. So I'm like, all right, let me hurry up and finish this test. I finished my test, and first thing I do, I open my phone. Click. I mean, it said MIAA mentioned you on Twitter. You've been mentioned on this, that, and the other. I'm looking at it. I'm like, freshman of the year. Hold on, dude. I mean, I got chills. Like, I started smiling. I'm walking to my car happy,
Stop cheesing.
dude. I'm texting my
You
parents.
say
My
I'm
parents,
young.
my whole family knew about it before I did. They're all texting in the group chat about it. And I'm like, dude, that's awesome. Like, that was a crazy experience for me. And then I did start to reflect on everything, and it was like, dude, I mean, I've came a long way. I've came so far. I almost quit football before the season, and then I ended up having a good season for me, and it was just so surreal. It was a great feeling. It was a great feeling.
Yeah,
For
man,
sure.
that's
That's what's
huge.
up, man.
Congrats, man, and I love the way that you celebrate yourself. I'm a huge advocate for that, man. Like you gotta like take some time and look at those wins. Like it's not getting comfortable by any means, but it's just celebrating yourself and being able to win that mental battle. So
Facts.
I want you to talk about the different cultures, like because at Tulsa when you was there, y'all went 2-6, and you came to UCO where y'all won a conference and rather like Division One, Division Two, like it's still football at the end of the day. Like it's still ways to win at any level. And so just speak on the different cultures and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. So I mean, I've been, I'm in a different position at UCO than I was at Tulsa. Tulsa, I was a nobody. I'm like low on the pyramid, kind of. So I didn't really like. I was noticing things, and I would kind of note things, but I didn't know about really the culture until I got to UCO. At Tulsa, they were always like, "Hey, build culture, culture this, culture that." But once I got to UCO, I truly, after that season, I understood what culture was. Like, we're all in this together. And there was so many games where we could have lost by like one possession, but we always stayed through. We fought for each other. Like, that was our culture. We would fight for each other. We try to have a high standard, do things the right way. And I genuinely think it's just it's a player-led program, and we all just love each other so much. It's like, hey, I'm gonna fight for my brother. I know my brother's gonna fight for me. In the cultures, we just don't give up. We just do what we gotta do. Like, we do what we have to get things done, and that's what I love about it here.
Right. This interesting to that you said that because on the last podcast, Coach Slaughter, he was talking about just like things that he noticed, like because they'll as a coach, like sometimes they can be like coaching too hard, and he said like he was able to step back and realize like the relationship is the most important aspect of it. And
Definitely,
so yeah, it's good that
definitely.
you mentioned that.
For sure. Yeah, culture is always huge, and I like that you said that at Tulsa they just talked about culture, but then when you got to UCL, you actually saw culture because it's so much bigger to just be about it than just talking about it all the time.
Definitely, I agree. I agree.
Facts. So also speak on Coach Doral and just the way he was able to totally flip their program around. I'm just like it was crazy. Like because I remember visiting there in 2023 when I was coming out of high school, and like I could tell like man this team is not very good. It's on the down. Like I'm thinking like the coach like I'm like I don't know if he can turn this around. And so just speak on it like just how he was able to do that and just his character and stuff like that.
Yeah, so there was a good example for me of just kind of our relationship, me and him. So, I mean, it's first round of playoffs. I was a little, I wouldn't say nervous, but it was kind of like, it wasn't my best game. I had a few drops. And then I remember there was this one time I had a drop, and Coach Doral looked at me and he said, "You're good." Like, hey, he's like, "Hey, buddy, you got this. Calm down. Just relax. You're okay." And then the next drive, I ended up scoring, and I went up to him and I gave him a hug, and I was like, "Thank you, Coach, for just trusting me and believing in me, because I wouldn't be in the situation like I was in without him. I wouldn't be the man I am today. I wouldn't be in the position I am without him." And so just having him on my side and having this coaching staff on my side and be invested in me is amazing. It's an amazing feeling. But no, he's a great dude. A lot of good things. I won't say anything negative about him ever. That is one of the best coaches I've had in my entire life. He's for his players. He advocates for us. He would do anything for us, no matter what. He would do anything for this team success, but not only football-wise, he would do anything for us off the field. And that's a coach, we want to play for. That's a coach that has our best interest in heart. We have his best interest in heart. So, it was kind of easy for us, and that kind of changed the culture. And we were everybody, including the coaches, were bought in. So it was like, we want to win for you. We want to help you out. And, we ended up winning, and we had great team success, and, just it's good for him. It's great for him.
Yeah.
That's what's up. He might shed a tear. He watched this video. Sound like a great guy though. Maybe somebody that we would like to have on the pod. If you want to mention our name, the coach, or anything like that.
Definitely can do. Definitely can do.
Get him on, man. Get him
All
on.
Right.
So we also talked to another DB that was there last year. His name was J.K. Moore.
Yep, JK.
I was just wondering if y'all had any practice battles, things like that, what he was like as a practice player. Because it's always good to get like an outside perspective from someone else that we interview.
Yeah, and I would say me and his relationship is the same as like every DB here and every receiver here. It's kind of like, I wouldn't say it's even like a beef. It's like an on-field beef. Like,
yeah, of course.
He's more of like a talker. So he's gonna talk.
Yeah, we know.
He said that too.
Which is good for me to hear that, because that's how the DBs are. So when I'm facing that in practice, he's going to talk, but we're going to go head to head. We're going to battle. Every time it's 15 versus 16, we're going to battle every time. And that's my dog. But at the end of the day, it's like, dude, good stuff. Between the reps, I'm like, bro, good. Like, you made that play, good job. But you're not going to make it every time.
For sure.
But definitely, that's my guy.
So who winning? Y'all was the lineup right now. Who winning?
See, I'm gonna say me, but I know he's gonna say him. Then that's just kind of iron sharpens iron. That's how we are.
For sure. Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, iron sharpens iron. It's great to have those, those battles within practice. You talked about how you had coaches and stuff like that. That's good influences in your life. What has been some of the best influences on your game, coach-wise, throughout your football career?
I would say, for me, I had a high school coach, Coach Chavez. He broke down football to me in a way I couldn't explain. I know he was with the Browns for a little bit, and then so I just he took me under his wing, and he taught me a lot about just football, the way it's supposed to get done. He taught me a lot about offense, reasons why he runs things a certain way, more backs, behind the scenes of it. Then I got to Tulsa, and then I met Coach Schwitz, Ryan Switzer, great.
Head coach now, right?
You said what?
He's the head coach now, right, at Tulsa?
No, he was the intern for a while, but I think they hired somebody else. So I think
Oh,
he's still the receiver coach. I believe so.
okay.
But yeah, so he was the receiver coach, and his backstory. He went to the NFL. He was with the Steelers. He was with the Browns for a little bit, the Cowboys. So every meeting, I'm in their notebook writing something down,
I'm
learning
already
from.
knowing.
I have pages and pages of pages because I'm writing everything he's saying just so I can get some of this knowledge and I have it. So I try to get all the knowledge I could have possible, like all the knowledge possible. I was trying to get from him, and then the reason I ended up coming to UCO was because a lot of the things Switz was saying, Curly was saying. So it kind of just meshed together, and I was like, okay, like I see where you're going with this, and I see it, and now I understand a lot about football, a lot about the reasons why, a lot of this, a lot of that. So when I got to UCO, it was like, okay, let's learn the playbook. Let's keep it going. Let's learn the playbook inside and out so then I can start playing with things, playing with splits, alignments, and just kind of all that stuff. So, I've had a lot of coaches and a lot of influences in the past that helped me. I have two really, I'd say three main trainers I worked with in high school that were really good. I'll just name a few of them. Deshae was really good. Shout out to Deshae. He went to my high school, but he graduated before I did. And then Coach Chaz, that dude right there, dude. He put me through some workouts I never want to do again. I was in there throwing up. I'm on the treadmill running. Like, that dude made me work. But no, a lot of great positive influences in my life.
That's what's
So,
up, man. Takes a
so
village.
yeah,
It
facts.
does.
So now that you mentioned that, we had like it's crazy. Like every single interview, it comes up somehow about like how just a guy is got a village and it builds them up. So speak on that, just how important it is to have a group of guys around you, like with the same mentality, or like guys to they'll build you up and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Definitely. So,
outside of your family, of course, because we already talked about that.
yeah, definitely. So, there's a lot of dudes here. I I'd say like my roommate, like he's funny though. He does it in an interesting way. He builds me up in an odd way. He like rage baits me. So like he does things and says things to make me mad, and it's like then I'll start explaining like, all right, like this is why I did that, this is why I did this, and then we'll start just talking about ball, talking about football, and it kind of just keeps in the back of my mind like we got a bigger plan. Like we both want to go to the league, so it's for me talking to him and him saying that it's like, all right, I'm not good enough. Like, let's get better to where he can't say nothing. And then I just try to surround myself by people who love ball, people who want to get better. So like my guy Deuce and Lil Will, they're both corners. So me and him, we go to war pretty much every practice. We know
Yeah, I
what
was gonna say
it.
I can imagine what that relationship was like.
Yeah, we don't say much on the field either. It's not like JK where we talk back and forth, but it's more like all right, let's work. Like let's get work. We're gonna get better this rep. We know that. So he's gonna beat me some reps. I'm gonna beat them some reps, and then it's building me up. It's making me better. So I'm not gonna sit here and dwell on all my negative plays because they're good DBs too. They're gonna win reps too. I'm not gonna win every single rep, but I just want to win most of them, majority of them.
Yeah, I like how y'all push each other like that, especially when you say a roommate. Man, I play running back, so I know like my offensive line in front of me got to be good, and so like I'm quick to tell them like you don't want to be great. Like I'd be like, man, come get some work. Like they be like, like man, you don't want to be great. Like,
Yeah, definitely. No,
Facts,
definitely.
facts. Hmm.
but I wanted to go back to where you said like the coaches was saying the same thing, and just highlight that just because I feel like you always hear there is no like secret formula to winning and stuff like that. And so for them to say the same thing, like I feel like some coaches be doing too much sometimes, where they try to like do something spectacular or things like that to like in order to win. But
Yeah,
like you said, they was preaching the same thing.
definitely. Football. It's not. I had my coach in high school said football is not about the X's and O's. It's about the Willies and the Joes. It's about the person who's playing. Like, so Swiss would always break down routes and break down things. And then when I was transferring, Curly said it the same way. So I was like, okay, then they obviously know what they're talking about is lining
Right.
up and it's matching. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
I just kind of knew, okay, they know what they're talking about. They know what to do, and that's kind of really when I made my decision.
For sure. I mean, we talked about a lot of the season from last year and, years past. Now that you're done with that season, have you had any time to maybe set some new goals for yourself for next season? Or are you just in grind mode right now for the off season?
Definitely. After the season, I kind of reflected, and recently in the summer, I've just been going back through, watching the old tape, and I feel like rewatching, I need to do a lot more. There's just a lot more I could have done, but that's just me breaking down myself in general. I'll always do that. I'll always be hard on myself, and I'll always try to be perfect, knowing I will never be perfect, and no one playing football will ever be perfect.
Yeah.
So, yeah, some of my goals, I just want to have another good, solid season. I want to work. I feel like I need to bring more effort, especially after the catch. I need better yak. I need to be more physical, and there's a lot more things I could have done. And I look almost like lackadaisical in a way. Even though I knew I wasn't, it was more like, come on, we got to pick it up. Like, I got to be more aggressive. So I need to be super aggressive. And then, yeah, I would like to have more yards, more touchdowns than I did last season, of course. But, that's obvious. So,
Word.
There's
For sure.
there's something that I always say, like, you always look good until you see that film from the bird highlight.
Swear.
Yeah, and I'll
Like, when
talk
did
to
I do that?
yeah, like I'll be, and you'll run something on the field and be like, ooh, okay, that's a route. That's a route. You watching on film, it's like, bro, like
But that was okay.
That was like,
Like, maybe I'm watching the wrong play. I don't know.
yeah, it's got to be the wrong play.
That's
You
another
were
thing.
talking about.
That's another thing for freshmen. Like, know that you always being recorded. Like every single play. Like, don't take no play off.
They will watch you if you're in the film on the sideline. They'll watch you. They'll see it. They don't miss anything. The eye in the sky don't lie. Eye in the sky don't lie.
Swear, they'll be like, "Why is your helmet off on the sideline?" You be on film,
Why
your
you-
helmet off on the sideline. You're in trouble all of a sudden.
Yeah, why are you taking a knee?
Yeah, for real. So you talked about, obviously, it seems like you watch a lot of film. Could you just talk to the importance about being a film head, diving into the film study, and how that's improved your game?
Yeah, watching film, which it started with Coach Chavez back in high school. He kind of made us come early in film. I mean, we're watching film at like 6 a.m. before school starts. We're in there just watching film, diving in it, and then I'd watch it on my own. And kind of as the years go on, I've learned what to really look for and kind of just learn more about watching film. But film, I try not to overthink about it too much. I try to just watch the film and understand, okay, so they give this look, the corner's pressing, he does this and this, and I try to just learn about their play styles and who they are. And then so when I get into the game, it's more reactionary. It's more, okay, I'm reacting now. I'm quicker on my feet because I've seen this already and I've seen that and this. And I know DBs are doing the same thing. They watch the receiver's stance. They watch where his feet are aligned, where his alignment is, all that sort of stuff. So it just helps you play faster and you can think less. Because for me, when I overthink and I start thinking a lot, I play worse. I play slower. I'm playing like I'm thinking, and so when I watch a lot of film, I can play faster, more aggressive. But that's for like more like games film. But when I'm evaluating myself, it's more like, okay, was I giving all my effort? What could I have done better? What should I have done? What could I have done better? Things like that. So film's huge. You gotta watch film.
For sure. And this isn't a question, but just something I wanted to say. You had talked about it earlier, but you talked about how you dropped a pass and then your coach threw it to you again. That's like, I just wanted to point that out because that's huge, like for a coach to show you that he still has that confidence in you. Because like not a lot of coaches do that. Like there's some players that'll drop a pass and then coach won't throw to him. I remember one game in high school. I remember I dropped a pass and I don't think I got like another pass till like the end of the game. And then you're thinking like, dang, like does coach not trust me? So like for the fact that he did that for you, like that's huge and shows what kind of coach he is, for real.
Without a doubt, like he trusts his players, and I've kind of was proving it all season, but he could. I mean, he had every right to pull me out of that game. I mean, that was probably the second pass I dropped. That wasn't even the first one. So I mean, he had every right to pull me out of the game, and I really thought he was going to pull me out of the game. But he said like, no, like I trust you. I believe in you. You got it. Relax. You got this. So
Yeah,
I
that's
mean, I mean, he's just a great coach, and I'll always say that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
I really just got one more for you. I was gonna say, obviously, you've been repeating it this whole time. Self belief, things like that, perseverance. So obviously, you're really big on just doing anything you put your mind to. Could you just give some advice to the young viewers or old viewers? Maybe they're going through something. Just like tell them not to give up. Stay the course. Keep trusting yourself.
Yeah, definitely stay the course. It gets long, it gets bumpy, it gets hard. Believe in yourself, and to believe in yourself, you got to prepare yourself. You got to be prepared for every moment, for every opportunity coming. So if you're nervous, if you're scared, if you're worried, it's because you're not prepared and you're not ready to be in that moment. You're not ready for the opportunity, and that's where faith for me comes into play. I'm a big believer in things will happen when they're supposed to, so you got to be ready when they happen. So for me, it was kind of just being prepared for that first game, and then the second game, my first start, and just being ready for that opportunity. And I took it. I was ready for it. I ran with it, and I didn't look back ever since.
Yeah.
Oh man, and look where it got you now.
Yes, sir. And I'm looking to move forward, looking to be better, looking to be bigger, faster, stronger, everything.
Of course, of course.
So now
Also big, like he's been stating, don't get complacent. Like when you finally see that the goals that you have for yourself are happening, don't stop.
Keep going.
Keep going. Yeah. Keep
Shoot for
going.
the stars.
Facts.
Mhm.
So, last question for you. I just wanted to
What they
end
say?
off.
What they say? Um, aim for perfection. Aim for perfection. Land of excellence.
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
a saying. Yeah,
I'm
for
pretty sure
sure.
it's a saying. Sounds like a saying. It can't be one else. It's not.
Yeah.
All right, last question I wanted to end off on just highlighting you, man, and just like just the high character dude you are, man. And I want to highlight the fact that at the D1 level at Tulsa, I'm pretty sure you was getting some type of money, whether it was NIL or whether it was like a collective or anything like that. And not one time during the podcast that you mentioned like money or anything, and like that's rare to find like these days in the college world and like the portal and stuff. And so I just want to highlight that, man. Like this, like props to you, man.
Facts, facts.
I want to, I appreciate that. And it's not always, I have to always tell myself, like, stop worrying about the money. Because, in this world with inflation and everything, money people see and value is everything. But for me, it's faith. And I'm working on growing and I'm more worried right now about, hey, how can I pursue God? How can I bring more people in? And how can I spread my faith for me? And that's kind of what I'm trying to do. And that's why I started posting 2K videos on Instagram again. So it's, hey, I can start building community, whether it's athletes I can inspire, whether it's using my gifts and spreading the word to people. And, I think about money a lot, and I try not to. It's hard. It's hard not to be honest.
That's what the real run on.
I mean,
Swear.
yeah, and that's
Especially
why,
nowadays. Yeah.
dude, it is so hard, and it's so hard. That's why I just try to get right with God, and I try to because for me, I'm seeking the gifts of God. I'm seeking everything in heaven, the eternal rewards and the eternal
Facts, right.
peace. And so that's why, and that's why when things go wrong, it was so easy for me because I found faith that when things went wrong, it's, hey, football's not everything. Football's not going to be your everything. It's not going to be here forever. And eventually, whether you believe in faith or not, football's going to end at some point, and you're not going to have football anymore. And so you just kind of, I guess, find a way. I don't really know where I was going with that, but you gotta, football.
I feel like you were saying like you gotta find a way to during that time like make the most and get the most out of it type. Is that what
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I'm just trying to see, what I can do with football, whether that's, the NFL content creation, using it to spread God's name, you know, that kind of stuff. And that's kind of where my head's at.
Right. Yeah, man.
That's,
I like that.
that's huge.
I like that you pointed out the fact just about like money is not everything. Like I got a saying where it says character triumphs everything, like everything. And like I done had some opportunities where like I'm in the same room as like the Missouri governor and stuff like that, just because of, like of my character and stuff like that. So
Exactly. Like money's gonna come and go. Uh, you know, nothing's ever stationary. Nothing's ever the same. Life is gonna have ups and downs. Money's gonna come and go. You know, so and what's gonna stay the same pretty much is your character, how you handle situations, and how you react to situations.
facts. That's a
You
bar.
just gotta control the controllables for real.
Exactly. There's a lot of uncontrollables you can't control. So if you can't control it, bro, I would not worry about it. If it's out of your hands, don't worry about it.
Facts.
Well,
Man, well, we really appreciate you coming on. You had a great message. Great stories to tell for sure.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all for having me.
Before we end it, you got anything else you want the people to know? Younger athletes.
You can shout out your socials too.
Yeah.
Follow me on my socials. You know, my name's right. There you go. It's right
It's at the
there.
bottom.
There you go. It's right there. It's pretty much just look it up. My name's unique enough. You'll probably find it. But,
Yeah, I don't
you
know
know,
so many students.
there's not many. There's actually, fun fact, I didn't know this till recently. Ferris State softball coach has the last name Schumann. Fun fact. Don't know if there's a relation or anything.
I was
But
just gonna say y'all might be related.
Yeah, it might be.
yeah, he didn't follow me back though, so I guess we'll never know. I guess we'll never know.
That's
Right.
funny.
Well, man, we appreciate you for coming on, and for the audience, we appreciate y'all, J2 fam, for coming in and tuning in. A lot of good information. Hope y'all was able to dissect everything, and just continue to stay tuned and make sure y'all subscribe.
Yep. Make
Please,
sure you like, subscribe,
please
turn on the
look back.
notifications.
Definitely, yeah, y'all definitely tap in, man. They're great. They're good at what they do. So I appreciate y'all for having me. You know, it's blessed. I'll stay in touch with y'all outside of the podcast, man. Good luck to y'all, and if there's anything I can do to help y'all, spread the name, spread the channel, man. Y'all let me know, and I'll be sure to help y'all.
For sure, bro. Hey, same here.
Hey, we need help getting Coach Door on.
Okay, I can.
Yeah,
if y'all need,
that's the real thing right
Okay.
there.
Coach Door.
all right. We can get it done. We can work it.
Appreciate that.
Do it.
Appreciate that.
Definitely. I appreciate y'all.